Friends of Islam, this time the Islamic faith is back before you to share Islamic information. I hope it inspires your activities today. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and activate the bell button notifications so you don't miss the latest news from the Islamic Faith channel. In recent years, Islam has shown rapid development in Georgia, a small country located in the Caucasus region, at the crossroads of Europe and Asia. Although the majority of Georgians are Orthodox Christians, Islam is the largest minority religion in the country and continues to experience significant growth. The growth of Islam in Georgia is seen in the increasing number of Muslim communities, especially in regions such as Adjara, Ajaria, Kvemo Kartli, and Samtskhe-Javakheti. In Adjara, an autonomous region directly bordering Turkey, Islam has been part of the cultural identity of the community for centuries. However, now, Islam is not only passed down from generation to generation, but is also starting to attract the attention of young people and seekers of new spirituality. In addition to its historical heritage, the development of Islam is also driven by peaceful preaching, increasing access to Islamic literature in Georgian, and the active role of Muslim organizations that focus on education and social issues. Mosques in cities such as Batumi and Tbilisi are now increasingly crowded, not only on Fridays, but also during regular religious studies. Another factor supporting this growth is the increasing international interaction, both from Georgian students studying in Muslim countries such as Turkey and Saudi Arabia, and the arrival of Muslim immigrants from Central Asia and the Middle East who have helped revive the spirit of Islam in the region. Despite facing challenges from stigma or discrimination, the Muslim community in Georgia continues to demonstrate a spirit of tolerance, peace, and contribution to social development. Many young Georgian Muslims are now active in education, entrepreneurship, and social activities. Islam in Georgia has not only survived, but is now starting to grow rapidly as part of the country's diversity and cultural richness. In the future, it is hoped that this development will further strengthen interfaith relations and create a more inclusive and harmonious society. Islam first entered the territory of Georgia around the 7th century AD, along with the expansion of the Islamic Caliphate in the Caucasus region. Several areas in Georgia, such as Tbilisi and other eastern regions, were once part of Muslim territory. Over the centuries, there was interaction between the local population and Islamic culture and religion, which gave birth to strong local Muslim communities, especially in the south and west of the country. The Adjara region, which borders Turkey, has a deep Islamic history. During the Ottoman Empire, many Adjarans converted to Islam, making Islam a part of their cultural identity. Adjara remains the region with the largest Muslim population in Georgia to this day. The Adjara region is located in southwestern Georgia, bordering Turkey and facing the Black Sea. Since the 17th century, the region has been part of the Ottoman Empire for more than 2 centuries. During this period, Islam spread widely among the local population, mainly through peaceful preaching, intermarriage, and the role of Muslim clerics and merchants. After Adjara became part of Georgia again in the early 20th century, the Muslim community remained, even during the repressive Soviet era. Today, the region remains the heart of Islamic life in Georgia. Adjara is known as the largest Muslim community or Muslim settlement center in Georgia and is therefore often referred to as the Muslim region or Islamic region of the country. Islam is not only growing rapidly, but it is also starting to attract many people to embrace this religion, both from locals and foreign immigrants.
وأشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله.
تكبير! تكبير! تكبير!
Although Georgia is predominantly Orthodox Christian, Islam is the second largest minority religion, with an active and diverse community. The development of Islam can be seen from the increase in mosques and Islamic study centers, the increasing number of Islamic dawah and education activities, both in urban and rural areas, the large number of young Muslims studying religion, both locally and abroad. Some native Georgians are starting to be interested in Islam because of a deep spiritual search, interest in the teachings of monotheism that are pure, logical, and touching, interaction with Muslim neighbors or friends who show good morals. The example of history and the figure of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who is full of compassion and justice. Many of them start to learn Islam through friends, social media, or visiting mosques in Batumi and Tbilisi, then say the Shahada with full conviction. Georgia has also seen an increase in the arrival of immigrants from Muslim countries, such as Turkey, Azerbaijan, Iran, Syria, and Central Asia. Students, businessmen, and refugees who settled and brought their Islamic identity with them. Their presence enriches the Islamic dawah and makes Islam more widely known among Georgian society. Islam in Georgia is no longer just a part of history or cultural heritage, but has now become a new way of life for many people. Its rapid development, coupled with the increasing number of converts from within and outside the country, is proof that the peaceful and enlightening message of Islam can be accepted by anyone seeking the real truth. Although challenges remain, the Muslim community in Georgia continues to move forward, building a peaceful, open civilization rooted in the values of monotheism and tolerance. Daily life of Muslims in Georgia. Muslims actively practice their religious duties, especially in major mosques such as the Orthodox Mosque in Batumi and the Tbilisi Central Mosque. Religious activities such as religious studies, Friday prayers, and Islamic holidays are held regularly. In Muslim villages, Islamic teachings are taught from generation to generation. There are small madrasas and religious classes run by the community. Some Muslims study in Turkey or Arab countries and then return to teach. Islamic literacy in Georgian is still limited, but is being developed. Georgian Muslims are known to be friendly and open to the surrounding community. Islamic culture blends with local traditions, such as in weddings, music, and food. Some regions, such as Adjara, have a distinctive Muslim lifestyle, not extreme but still devout. There is great hope for the Muslim community in Georgia. More and more young Muslims are educated and actively preaching. The community of converts continues to grow, especially in the cities. Islam becomes an alternative, peaceful, and logical spiritual faith in the midst of modern Georgian society. The emergence of a Muslim community that is socially active and involved in nation building. Muslims in Georgia are a strong, diverse minority community that remains steadfast in upholding Islamic teachings amidst challenges. They not only maintain the heritage of faith, but also become peaceful and tolerant ambassadors of Islam in the Caucasus region. Although still facing pressure, the future of Islam in Georgia looks increasingly bright with a new generation that is intelligent, religious, and open. Muslim women in Georgia play an important role in maintaining Islamic values in their families and communities. Many wear the hijab, especially in the Adjara and Marnuli regions, active in the fields of children's education, religious studies, and social activities. Some female converts from Georgia have even become dawah activists, writing articles about Islam in Georgian and Russian. Women's communities often hold special religious classes, including topics around women's jurisprudence, Islamic parenting, and morals. Looking at today's developments, the future of Muslims in Georgia is very promising, if supported by a young generation that is knowledgeable and has noble morals, intelligent, peaceful, and inclusive dawah. Openness to the world, but still maintaining Aqidah. Active participation in interfaith and national dialogue. From the mountain villages of Adjara to the city mosques of Batumi and Tbilisi, they live as ambassadors of Islam, with patience, exemplary behavior, and a peaceful spirit. They are a reminder that Islam does not need a majority to shine. Islam shines from the sincerity, knowledge, and morals of its adherents, even in the most remote places. Georgian Muslims live as a minority that continues to actively practice Sharia. They observe the 5 daily prayers, fast during Ramadan, and solemnly celebrate Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. In Muslim areas such as Adjara, Kvemo Kartli, and Pankisi, the Islamic atmosphere is more pronounced. There are many mosques, halal food, and devout communities. Muslim clothing, such as the hijab, is widely used in Muslim villages and towns. Local customs blend with Islamic values, especially in marriage, birth, death, and the education of children. Muslim communities maintain a culture of mutual assistance, ta'awun, and maintaining kinship. Mosques are the center of the spiritual and social life of Muslims in Georgia. Large mosques such as Orthodox, Batumi, and the Tbilisi Central Mosque are very active. In the villages, especially in Adjara and Pankisi, old wooden mosques still stand and are used. There are religious studies, sermons, tafsir studies, and Quran classes for children and adults. During Ramadan, the community holds a fast-breaking ceremony and distributes zakat. Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha are important moments to strengthen the community. Islam flourished again in Georgia when the Ottoman Empire and Safavid Iran experienced their golden age. The majority were Sunni, Hanafi, and Shafi'i schools of thought, and a small number were Shia. When the Soviet Union gripped Georgia with communism, Islam in Adjara experienced a rapid decline. So many Islamic practices were abandoned by the younger generation. After the Soviet Union collapsed, Christians seized the opportunity to convert them. A Muslim politician, who was a former president of the autonomous Adjara, Aslan Abashidze, was one of the victims of the apostasy. Since then, the construction of mosques has been hampered. Currently, there is only one mosque in the city of Batumi, even though there are 14 churches standing solidly. To welcome the coming of the month of Ramadan, Georgian Muslims in the eastern part who adhere to Sufi beliefs, Naqshbandiya and Qadariya, happily hold the Nisfu Shakban tradition. This is a joint prayer activity in the middle of the month of Shakban, approaching the 15 days of the coming of the month of Ramadan. Reported from the book Jajak Ramadan Berbagai Negara by Nurul Asmayani and friends before reading the Nisfu Shakban prayer, they first perform a 2-rakat sunnah prayer, Nisfu Shakban sunnah prayer. This prayer is performed after the sunnah prayer of Qarib after sunset. In the first rak'ah, after reading Al-Fatiha, continue with reading Surah Al-Kafirun. Meanwhile, in the second rak'ah, after Al-Fatiha, read Surah Al-Ikhlas. Even though they are a religious minority, when Ramadan arrives, Georgian Muslims fast with gratitude. They also perform sahur like Muslims in other parts of the world. Tarawih is also carried out in congregation at mosques. Even though the number of mosques is very small and they are located far from where they live, their enthusiasm to increase their faith and get closer to Him makes them always maximize all their good deeds during the month of Ramadan. When entering the last 10 nights of Ramadan, they also perform itikaf at the mosque, celebrating the arrival of the promised night, the night of Laylatul Qadr. Likewise, before the end of Ramadan, Georgian Muslims pay zakat, both zakat fitra and zakat mal, zakat on assets. As Eid al-Fitr approaches, Georgian Muslims are sad because they have to part with the glorious month of Ramadan. On the other hand, there is a sense of joy because they have gone through the blessed month brilliantly and hope to meet Ramadan in the coming year. 4 days before Eid al-Fitr, Georgian Muslims start cleaning their houses and animal pens. The cleaning activity lasts until the day before Eid. If finances allow, they will prepare new clothes, new furniture, and various food ingredients. On the night of Eid al-Fitr, the women are even busier by preparing various typical Georgian dishes. When the food is ready, the children are given the task of delivering the food to the homes of relatives and neighbors. This activity of exchanging food has become their tradition every night of Eid al-Fitr. On the morning of Eid al-Fitr, with radiant faces, they greet each other on their way to the mosque. Assalamu alaikum, may Allah accept our good deeds. Those who have not paid zakat fitra rush to pay it at the special zakat collection post. Then everyone solemnly follows the Eid prayer. After the prayer, all family members gather at home and apologize to each other. Special food will be served during the day, continued with a pilgrimage to the graves of family and local Muslim figures. On the day of Eid, a festival is also held. Various musical dances, traditional songs typical of Georgian Muslims are performed joyfully. Children are entertained with swing attractions. This festival lasts until the evening. Although Muslims are a minority, the Eid celebration still takes place lively there. Friends of the Islamic faith, everything has changed in Georgia. The country that used to suffer under Soviet rule now feels its freedom, including freedom of religion. In the last decade, Islam has grown quite rapidly in this region. This can be seen from the increasing number of women in Georgia who wear the hijab and niqab, veil. Now we can see women wearing the hijab joining women who dress in Western styles. They are not discriminated against and can live together. Not only that, Muslims in Georgia can now easily get Islamic religious education. As Ibrahim said, now the Quran that has been translated into Turkish and Russian is very easy to get in big cities, in Georgia, for example, in Tbilisi. From day to day, there are also more and more Islamic and Quranic study groups and forums. Finding halal food is not a problem in Tbilisi. In fact, this city is very famous for its various processed wines. Halal meat is also easy to find in many large shopping centers in the city. Halal products sold there have easily recognizable labels and have been licensed by the Arab or Persian government. Every year, hundreds of Georgian Muslims perform the Hajj pilgrimage to the Holy Land. The number of pilgrims could have increased if there were no financial constraints faced by a number of Muslims in Georgia. In addition, according to Thames, a Georgian Muslim man who went on the Hajj in 2009, there are still many Muslims in this country who do not understand the obligation of the Hajj. Don't compare us with Muslims who live in Muslim countries. We are currently only at the stage of getting to know Islam, he said. He added that Muslims in Georgia had to go through a long road to break down the anti-religious wall built by the Soviet Union regime. Fortunately, now there is no longer a ban on Muslims from praying in mosques and studying the Quran. The Republic of Georgia is a transcontinental country east of the Black Sea, south of the Caucasus region, between the European and Asian continents. This former republic in the Soviet Union borders Russia to the north, Turkey to the southwest, Armenia to the south, and Azerbaijan to the east. Georgia is now inhabited by around 4.4 million people, with 84% of the population being indigenous. Islamophobia remains a worrying phenomenon in Georgia. Many Georgians are concerned about Islamic ideology and outside influences that could lead to internal violence. The existence of Muslim Chechekists has often been a source of political tension between Georgia and Russia. Fortunately, Georgia, under the leadership of Mikhail Saakashvili, has begun to pay attention to the aspirations of Muslims. Recently, Saakashvili called for no more difficulties in obtaining permits for the construction of mosques in Georgia. Previously, it was very difficult for Muslims to build mosques because the permitting process was so difficult. By refusing to build mosques in Georgia, it is the same as denying the right of hundreds of thousands of Muslims living in this region to become citizens of Georgia, the Georgian president said via the PIK television channel. According to Saakashvili, building a mosque is not a matter of religion, but the right of all Georgians to worship. They cannot be denied the right to practice their religious traditions, the president said. Saakashvili's policy has been widely opposed by non-Muslims. It is easy to throw out populist slogans, but we must have a responsible attitude towards our fellow citizens, regardless of their religious identity and origin, he explained. The Georgian government also signed an agreement with Turkey. The agreement is in the form of facilitating permits for the construction of mosques in Georgia and the repair of churches in Turkey. President Mikhail Saakashvili's policy is certainly a breath of fresh air for Georgian Muslims amidst the spread of Islamophobia in the country. As a minority, it is not easy for Georgian Muslims to live a religious life. In fact, according to the Caucasus page, Muslims tend to be difficult to recognize in Georgia's new national ideology. Moreover, the Saakashvili regime tends to implement Christian values. As one proof, the Saakashvili regime uses a new flag as a symbol of the country. The symbol of King David used on the country's flag shows that Georgia is trying to rebuild a Christian country. The strength of Muslims in Georgia lies in the Ajarian and Ajaris ethnic groups. In addition, there is also another smaller Muslim community, namely the Abkhaz. The Abkhaz ethnic people are known as Abkhazians. They live and settle in the Abkhazia region and other cities in Georgia. Another small ethnic group that embraces Islam is the Kistan. They settle in the Pankisi Valley, precisely in northeast Georgia. The number of Muslim communities from this ethnic group reaches 12,000 people. They are followers of the Qadiriya and Naqshbandiya Sufi orders. Each Muslim ethnic group in Georgia plays a unique role in shaping the character of local Islam, which is peaceful, rooted, and open. Although different in school of thought, language, and even culture, they are united by the Shahada, love of knowledge and commitment to Islamic values. One of the characteristics of the Georgian Muslim community is the strong transmission of religion from generation to generation. Parents teach religion from home: prayer, fasting, manners, and the story of the Prophet. Young people are encouraged to read the Quran, learn Arabic, and even study abroad if necessary. In some villages, religious teachers still teach in the traditional way, but now they are accompanied by young men and women who understand technology and are able to preach digitally. Friends of the Islamic faith who are blessed by Allah. Now in Georgia, around 10 to 12% of the total population is Muslim, with an estimated number of around 398,000 to 463,000 people. Although Islam is a minority religion in this country, in some areas there are quite significant Muslim communities and have an important role in the history and culture of the region. Welcome to the stunning Elaknan country event where European Muslims live. Imagine a place that combines natural charm and captivating history surrounded by majestic green mountains. This is the area of Adjara that seems untouched by modernity, remains true to its strong traditions and religion, and is known for its distinctive hospitality. Adjara is a place that presents a harmony between ancient culture and stunning modern architecture. This region is officially known as the Autonomous Republic of Adjara, located in the southwestern corner of Georgia, right on the Black Sea coast bordering Turkey to the south. The city of Batumi, the capital, is the second largest city in Jordan. And of course, this city is filled with extraordinary historical stories. With its stunning natural scenery, Ankara offers a mix of towering mountains and serene coastlines. The lesser Caucasus mountains that surround the region have an average elevation of between 2,000 and 2,500 meters above sea level. This geographical beauty makes Ankara a place full of unmatched natural charm. The beautiful coastal scenery, green forests, and imposing mountains all come together to create a natural wonder that captivates the heart. The deep history and cultural mix of Ankara is not only a tourist destination, but also a region that acts as a bridge between two worlds, Europe and Asia. As a center of cultural exchange, it is a place rich in diverse traditions and customs. Since ancient times, the region has been inhabited by various civilizations, and its history has inspired a rich and diverse mix of cultures. Over time, Ankara has undergone many changes from the rule of the Persian Empire in 509 AD to the Seljuk, Mongol, and Timur empires. However, the most significant influence came in the 16th century when the region fell to the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman influence brought about major changes in the culture and religion of the Adjara people. However, the local cultural identity has been strongly maintained. In 1929, Ankara entered one of the darkest chapters in its history. After the Soviet Union took control of Georgia, the Muslim population was imprisoned and faced unimaginable, brutal persecution. The Soviet government, eager to eliminate all forms of resistance, imposed a policy of collectivization that forced the Adjara people to surrender their land and wealth. But they did not give up easily. Muslim villagers rose up against this policy in the hope that they could retain their faith in their homeland. The uprising ended with Soviet troops responding with overwhelming force, crushing any form of resistance. Although filled with fighting spirit, mass deportations of the Adjara Muslim community to Turkey, the remaining residents had to live in fear under tight surveillance by the Soviet authorities who controlled their lives. But despite the oppression, the religious spirit of the Adjara never died. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Ankara rose again. The Muslim community that had previously been forced into hiding was now able to worship freely. Although this freedom came at a high price, And although the Muslim community was able to practice their religion without fear, new challenges arose. Despite the apparent peace, the teachings were not free from social tensions that shook the foundations of its society. Amidst rapid changes, tensions between religion and cultural identity often come to a head. Muslim communities that have long experienced discrimination now feel growing dissatisfaction, especially related to the government's lack of attention to Islamic institutions and the difficulty in renovating mosques that are almost in ruins. And the central government seems to prioritize Orthodox churches, leaving these mosques in ruins, in the shadow of poverty and indifference. Muslim communities in the event continue to struggle to maintain their heritage and places of worship. In addition, the differences between those who want to maintain stricter religious traditions and those who are open to the influence of modernity add to the strength of social friction. The strong cultural diversity in the event has now become a space for conflict where modernity fights against centuries-old traditions. Batumi, the capital city, is now rapidly developing as an international tourist destination with beautiful beaches and modern architecture that attracts visitors. However, this rapid change has also had a heavy social impact on the majority of the local community who feel marginalized by the wave of tourism that has eroded their cultural identity. Georgian Inan, busy and strongly. One of the things that distinguishes the mosques in Adjara from other mosques in the Islamic world is the carvings and symbolism found in their interior design. Many mosques in Adjara are decorated with typical Georgian carvings, such as the rotating crescent moon and the sun, which represent the pre-Christian symbols of ancient Jordan. These carvings give a distinctive feel that combines elements of Islam with local Georgian culture, creating a very unique visual identity. Beyond its beauty, Adjara is also rich in colorful culture and folklore. Joyful poems, energetic martial arts dances, and spirited dances reflect the pride and strong character of the Adjara people. Every traditional festival in Adjara features delicious dishes rich in dairy products, such as butter and cheese, which are the main ingredients of their traditional cuisine. Adjara is not just a place, but a story of resilience, culture, and transformation. The region has experienced political shifts and cultural changes, yet it has preserved its unique heritage. Every corner of Adjara holds a deep history, rich culture, and stunning natural scenery. When you visit, you will not only be treated to stunning views, but also be taken on a journey filled with pride and spirit that lives in timeless traditions. Adjara is not only known for its stunning natural beauty and history, but also for the charm of its captivating girls. Adjara girls are known for their natural beauty that is so captivating. With their beautiful faces and friendly personalities, they inherit the charm that radiates from their deep culture and traditions, reflecting their pride in their heritage. Now we take you to some of the must-see places in Adjara. Let's go. First, the city of Batumi. As the capital of Adjara and the second largest city in Georgia, Batumi is a prime destination for tourists. Located along the Black Sea coast, Batumi is known for its stunning sea views, modern architecture, and natural beauty. The city is a thriving tourist hub with many hotels, restaurants, and entertainment venues. Batumi Botanical Garden presents a vast collection of plants. This park is a perfect place to enjoy fresh air while enjoying the beauty of nature. Batumi Beach, a long sandy beach, a popular place to sunbathe and enjoy the view of the Black Sea. Alphabet Tower. Batumi's icon featuring rotating Georgian alphabet symbols creates a unique view that can be seen from all over the city. The Alphabet Tower is even more unique because the writing of the Georgian alphabet itself is very different from the Latin letters that we usually see. The letters have a curved and artistic shape, like a combination of calligraphy and ancient symbols that make anyone who sees it curious. Even the Georgian language has a writing system that has existed for thousands of years and is only used there, so it is truly unique and rare in the world. Jurjumi Mosque. Jurjumi Mosque is the largest wooden mosque in Georgia and one of the most important Islamic cultural heritages in the event. The mosque is located in Jurjumi village and is known for its distinctive Georgian architecture combined with Islamic elements. The mosque also has a madrasa used for religious education. After restoration after the Soviet era, The mosque now serves again as the center of Muslim community life in the event. Promeus, though located a little outside the Promus Cave event, is one of the most famous natural attractions in Georgia, located in the town of Skaltubo. This cave offers an amazing view with beautiful stalactites and stalagmites. This cave is also famous for its underground lake system, which can be explored by boat. Adjara Mountains. Adjara Mountains are a paradise for nature lovers and mountain climbers. The average height of these mountains is between 2,000 to 2,500 meters above sea level, and they offer a very stunning view. Here, visitors can enjoy tracking, hiking, and even skiing in winter. Some of the famous locations in these mountains include Jika Gorge, a valley that offers a stunning view with flowing rivers and unique rock formations. Boter Zipis is located in the mountains with an amazing view of the Black Sea, often visited by tourists who want to enjoy the fresh mountain air. Mahunseti Waterfall is located in the rural area of Adjara, near the village of Mahunti, and is one of the most famous waterfalls in the region. The waterfall is about 20 meters high and has stunning natural beauty and is a very popular place for taking pictures and relaxing in the outdoors. There is also an old bridge around the waterfall, which adds to the visual appeal of the location. Kulo Village. Kulo is a mountain village located in the interior of Adjara. The village is famous for its pristine natural beauty and spectacular mountain views, and is also the gateway to the Adjara Mountains, and is an ideal place to experience the traditional life of the Georgian mountain people. The traditional houses in Hulo are built of stone and wood, giving an authentic impression of Georgian rural life. Gonyo Fortress, or Absaris Fortress, is a very important archaeological site in the event. It is located near Batumi. This fortress has a long history and is a relic of the Roman Empire. Georgia was incorporated into the Trans-Caucasian Soviet Socialist Republic, along with Armenia and Azerbaijan in the same year. Under the orders of Joseph Stalin, about 50,000 people who opposed the government were killed and executed between 1921 and 1924. After Stalin's death in 1953, Nikita Khrushchev became the new leader of the Soviet Union and implemented a policy of de-Stalinization, which consisted of a series of political reforms, including changing or eliminating key institutions that helped Stalin hold power, Stalin's political system, Stalin's personality cult, and the Gulag forced labor system, all of which were created by Stalin during his time in power. On March 31, 1991, Zviad Gamsakhurdia, the head of the Supreme Council of the Republic of Georgia, organized a referendum on Georgian independence, which resulted in 98.9% of the vote in favor of Georgia's independence from the Soviet Union, which was then declared independence on April 9, 1991. Gamsakhurdia was elected president of Georgia on May 26, 1991. He was later criticized by the opposition for his erratic and authoritarian style of government. He was later overthrown in a coup that took place from December 22, 1991 to January 6, 1992. In August 1992, conflict began to heat up in two regions of Georgia, namely Abkhazia and South Ossetia. The dispute occurred between local separatists and the majority of the Georgian population. This conflict then erupted into violence and widespread interethnic war. Backed by Russia, Abkhazia and South Ossetia achieved de facto independence from Georgia, with Georgia retaining control over only a small area of the disputed territory. During the Abkhazian War of 1992 to 1993, it was reported that around 14,000 people were killed in the fighting, and around 300,000 others were forced to flee the territory of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. That's a brief summary of the history of the country of Georgia. And as usual, to get to know this country better, here are 20 interesting facts about Georgia. The original name of Georgia to refer to the country is Sakartvelo. This Nata originally referred to the population in the center of central Georgia, namely the Kartli Iberian Kingdom. The name Georgia itself is believed to be taken from the ancient Iranian or Persian word Gurgan or Gorgon, which means land of wolves. The name of the capital city of Tbilisi is taken from the Georgian language, which means warm location. The naming of this city is related to the discovery of natural hot springs in the region, which were discovered during the hunt of King Vakhtang in the 5th century AD. The current Georgian flag, although it has been used for centuries since before modern times, the Georgian flag was officially adopted in 2004. The Georgian flag consists of two colors, namely red and white. The red color of the Georgian flag symbolizes the bloodshed of war and the suffering of the past. The white color symbolizes hope and aspirations for the future. In the center of this flag, there is a picture of a large red cross that touches the four sides of the flag, and in the four corners there are four Bolnisi crosses. The 5 crosses on the current Georgian flag are sometimes interpreted as representing the 5 holy wounds, or the 5 wounds that pierced Jesus during his crucifixion, while according to another meaning, the 5 crosses symbolize Jesus and the 4 evangelists. The official language in this country is Georgian. Georgian itself is a Kartvalian language, or South Caucasian language spoken by Georgians. Georgian is written in its own writing system and is used for regional subgroups of the country of Georgia, including the regions of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. The official currency of the country is the Georgian lari and is encoded with GEL. Joseph Stalin, who was also the leader of the Soviet Union from 1922 until his death in 1953, was a Georgian-born. Born with the name Iosif Vissarionis Djugashvili, before changing his name to Joseph Stalin, he also had a nickname, or nickname Koba, taken from the name of a novel character he read. Georgia adopted Christianity as its national religion in 326 AD, which is also the second country in the world to make Christianity its national religion. The majority of Georgians are Eastern Orthodox Christians. Apart from the large Christian influence, this country still respects other religions, such as Catholicism, Armenian Apostolic, Judaism, and Islam. The Jewish community in Georgia is considered one of the oldest in the world. This community is divided into 2 groups. The Georgian Jewish group has lived in this area for 2,600 years, while the Ashkenazi Jewish group came to this area in the 19th century. As a country with a large Christian population, there are many holy places found in this country, such as the caves of the Varzia Monastery, the Trinity Church of Gergeti located on the mountain, and the Samtskhe-Javakheti Cathedral, which was built since the 4th century AD. Trinity Church of Gergeti is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Georgia. The Guardian newspaper included this church as one of the most beautiful churches in the world. Trinity Church of Gergeti is located on Mount Arasheli. The church, which was built between the 11th and 13th centuries, has extraordinary natural scenery because it is surrounded by mountains. Its access is quite difficult, making this church a little isolated. Although the area is not too large, Georgia has 12 different climate zones, starting from subtropical to alpine to semi-desert. This region also has 49 different types of soil, making Georgia one of the most ecologically diverse countries in the world. Georgia is one of the highest countries in Europe, located in the Caucasus Mountains region, making this country one of the highest countries in Europe. In addition to the natural landscape surrounded by mountainous areas, giving its own beauty to the landscape of this country. The Upper Svaneti region was declared a cultural heritage site by UNESCO in 1996. Including the Chajashi village, which is seen as an ideal example of the preservation of medieval architecture. It is recorded that more than 200 buildings in the form of houses, towers, and also protective forts that have existed since the Middle Ages still stand in this region. This village is located at an altitude of 2,200 meters above sea level at the foot of the Great Caucasus Mountains. In addition to the Chajashi village in the Upper Svaneti region, there is also the Ushguli village, which is also one of the highest settlements in Europe. The historical monument of Meskheta was declared a World Cultural Heritage Site by UNESCO. Meskheta was the capital of the Eastern Georgian Kingdom in the 5th to 3rd centuries BC, and in this region, Christianity was declared the national religion of Georgia in the early 4th century AD. Famous sites such as Javari Monastery and Samtskhe-Javakheti Cathedral and the surrounding area are also declared as part of the World Heritage by UNESCO. Apart from the 2 sites mentioned above, another World Heritage Site of this country is Gelati Monastery. Gelati Monastery Complex was built in 1106 and was known as the center of culture and intelligence during the Middle Ages. Galati Monastery Complex is considered as the masterpiece of the Golden Age of Georgia. Kutaisi City, located in western Georgia, is one of the oldest cities in Europe. The city was the capital of the Kingdom of Caucasus, a region in the southern Caucasus since the 2nd millennium BC. This ancient city has been the center of various conflicts between the kings of Georgia, Russia, Ottoman rulers, and was once an industrial center during the Soviet Union era. Georgia is one of the oldest wine-producing regions in the world. Georgia has been producing wine for at least 8,000 years and is considered the birthplace of the drink. The traditional Georgian winemaking method is to use Kvemo, a type of clay pot that is planted in the ground to store the grapes so that they can ferment naturally. Georgians believe that guests are a gift from God, and at every supra or traditional Georgian feast, guests are welcomed with open arms, and the locals are happy to serve the newcomers traditional food and drinks. Chakrulo, a Georgian folk song that is usually sung during traditional celebrations and festivals, was sent into space on the Voyager spacecraft. Chakrulo was sent along with 116 images, traditional music from various countries, and greetings in 59 languages of the world on the Voyager Golden Record mission. Friends of the Islamic faith who are blessed by Allah, I hope this video is useful and see you in our next video.